everybody's doing well this afternoon. I'm your host, Mark, right here on Houston Confidential Live on this rainy Monday evening. Now, y'all probably tired of the rain, but hey, God is doing his thing. We just gonna stand back and let him work. Well, once again, you're here on Houston Confidential Live. I'm your host, Mark. Right here on this Monday evening. I wish it was Friday, guys. Please forgive me. It is May the 24th, and I wish it was Friday. Just trying to rush through the week. Why? I don't know. Ain't got nowhere to go. It's all good. But anyway, welcome aboard, guys. I'm blessed to be here. I'm glad you guys are sitting in on my podcast. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I'm rushing for another weekend. Please forgive me. But anyway, we're right here on Houston Confidential Live. I'm your host, Mark. Saying it again. Tonight, we are talking about the name of the topic tonight is Injustice in America. Mainly two topics that I'd like to talk about, guys. We're talking about the execution of Ledell Lee in Arkansas on April the 20th, 2017. And we're talking about the death of Mr. Ronald Green 2 years ago by the Louisiana State Police. And we're going to get into details, guys, on both of those issues. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. We're going to jump right into the Ledell Lee case. This gentleman was executed back in 2017 after serving 24 years on death row for a crime or murder that he didn't commit. The guy said from when they accused him of murder of his next door neighbor, Miss Deborah Reese in Jacksonville, Arkansas. He told the police he didn't commit the crime all the way up to his execution date on April the 20th, 2017. This one I'm talking about right here, guys, may take a little longer than Mr. Green. Well, I'm going to talk about them each of about 30 minutes apiece tonight. It's unbelievable how Mr. Lee was treated in his case. First of all, when he went to trial, I want to say the first trial was a hung jury, which it was. He had two trials. He had numerous alibis and witnesses from the first hung jury. And in the process of that, come to find out, the attorney that he had was using a substance where he was intoxicated during several of Mr. Lee's hearing. Now, this is the attorney for Mr. Lee. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? He was intoxicated at some of the hearings for Mr. Lee. Then when the second trial came up, they didn't allow the witness to come back from the first trial. The judge didn't. Horrible situation, guys. Just unbelievable that DNA on the weapon proved that this gentleman did not commit that murder. Hair follicles showed, well, they said the hair follicles were comparable to his hair follicles. I mean, how many black men out there have the same type hair follicles? We have coarse hair. Doesn't take a rocket. Like I said, guys, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything of that nature, but we know black folk hair is a little coarser than anybody else's. So therefore, you could have had millions of suspects until you did the DNA portion of it. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? You can look through it through the microscope and it looks like the gentleman's hair. You understand where I'm coming from? But until you do the DNA sample of that, that's where you can really get down to the balls and wax of this situation here. Make a long story short, guys. I'm going to go through a few things here. Truth about Mr. Lee's case here. There was no physical evidence that directly connected him to that lady's murder, his next door neighbor. And they said the forensic evidence was inconclusive, yet the prosecution inflated the significance of the test leading to Mr. Lee's conviction. Do you understand where I'm coming from, guys? They just saying, yeah, he did it, and that's what the evidence is showing, which they were wrong. They found out the DNA evidence from the crime scene belonged to a killer has never been tested with the modern technology back then. So they actually nailed it down to the guy that actually did the murder, guys. You understand what I'm talking about when I said injustice in America? To be honest with you, I don't agree with the death penalty. So I could never be on a jury of someone that is being tried for a murder case. I don't agree with the death penalty. Because in a lot of those cases, and I'll get into the numbers here in a minute, a lot of the people were exonerated. I want to say about 150 people were exonerated from death row because the evidence and the DNA didn't match. You understand? But a lot of people have died, guys. Hear me out. The lethal injection. So they wanted to use up their injection on these folks. Do you understand? Well, that's horrible, guys. It's estimated that 4% of all defendants sentenced to death are wrongly convicted. Over the last 44 years, 167 innocent people have been exonerated from death row. More than 20 of those were freed using DNA. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? This stuff works. And like I said, I don't agree with the death penalty. Just because of instances of this nature. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? I'm sorry I'm looking down because I'm reading some documents in front of me. But this man went 24 years saying he did not commit that murder. But still yet, the governor did not want to give him a stay of execution so they didn't want the evidence, the new evidence to be presented. That's why that man lost his life. It's crazy, man. So many murderers that are still walking our street right now. And it's unbelievable, guys, that you confess your innocence. And what is the saying? You're innocent until proven guilty. They had no evidence that this man committed any murder. Well, killed his next door neighbor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't know how you feel about it, guys. You're watching Houston Confidential Live right here on Facebook. I'm your host, Mark. I'm doing a live podcast, guys. Hey, I'm just talking about what matters, man. And I told y'all, we're going to talk about what matters on my podcast. I'm not going to come up here talking about things that I don't know about or not abreast to. And I told you I was going to talk about Mr. Ronald Green last Friday. Y'all was on here, and I explained to y'all, we're going to get into his case in just a moment. You may have heard it on the news, and really, I didn't hear about Mr. Lee's case here till this week, and it's unbelievable how that played out, and this man died being innocent. You understand, guys? I don't understand it. You're watching it, guys, once again. Houston Confidential Live, right here at Studio 4604 in H-Town, live and direct to your town. I'm just happy to be here, talking about what matters, guys. I can get up here and talk about what she did, he did, and I'm talking about things that matters on my podcast. It's enough of that other stuff that's going on. I'm going to just keep it real, and we're going to talk about it, because it could be our loved one that I'm talking about. You understand where I'm coming from? Yeah, we'll have our days where I'll let you guys let your hair down. I don't have any, so I can't let mine down. But we can have some days like that. But I'm going to keep you informed about what's going on around this country when an injustice is involved. Do you understand where I'm coming from, guys? And like I said, I had never heard about this gentleman here until I really started getting into what I'm doing now. That really opened my eyes. I was more into sports and not really watching what's going on with our people around the nation. When I say our people, I mean every American in this country. And you can see the difference in how the justice system works. It's horrible. It really is when it comes to people of color. It is what it is. Don't know how you feel about the situation, guys, but that's sad. Arkansas killed this guy because they were about their lethal injection drug was about to expire. They killed 8 people during that time in 11 days. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that's why, once again, I don't agree with the death penalty. You'll go stick somebody in the pen for drugs for the rest of their life. If they kill somebody, let them rot in there also. Don't know how you feel about it, guys, but I'm keeping it real. I'm your host, Mark, right here on Houston Confidential Live. right here on this rainy Monday evening, May the 24th. Man, the month has gone by, guys. Where has it gone? If you're watching and I can't see you watching, please say hello so I can say hello back, guys. Please. It doesn't hurt. I'm not here to beat you up, tear you down. I just want to pay my respect. Yep. And Asa Hutchinson was the governor of Arkansas back then that signed his death warrant. Wow. Then you had the Attorney General, Leslie Rutledge, echoed that the wrong person was not put to death. The right person was put to death. Ledell murdered, and they showed evidence, DNA. You understand how twisted this can be, guys. I'm just reading it to you as I see it here. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. This next story is really wow. When I read about Mr. Ronald Green in Louisiana, that blew me away, guys. The way his case was handled. Here, black man died 2019 in custody of Louisiana State Police after a high-speed chase. I seen the video, was appalled by it once again. Mr. Green was 49-year-old. He was a barber, died in police custody outside Monroe, Louisiana, May 2019, following a chase that began after Mr. Green did not pull over for an unsuspicious, for a traffic violation. Now, here's the catch to this story. When they got Mr. Green to the hospital, they told the doctors that he died from his car crashing and hitting a tree. You understand where I'm coming from? I'm talking about before the video came out. That's what they put in their police report. You understand where I'm coming from, guys? Even the doctors said, the doctors that was in the ER, when they brought him in there, he was dead by the time they brought him in there. They said that what they told him didn't match up to the evidence on Mr. Green. You understand where I'm coming from? Now, these are physicians in the ER that was treating this gentleman. But when they brought the video out, you could really see what happened to Mr. Green. How dumb were they as police officers to put something of the nature of this man hitting a tree, and then they release the body cams to the Associated Press and show this man being beaten down. And when the doctors looked at Mr. Green, he had taser marks in his back. So how could that tree tased him from him hitting that tree? I don't understand it, guys, but when you watch the video that they brought out, you could really see what happened to Mr. Green. It was at least 48 minutes of them struggling and repeatedly tasing and punching and choking Mr. Green while he was in handcuffs. You understand where I'm coming from, but in a police report, they put that this gentleman ran into a tree and that's what caused his injuries. When the police and the autopsies looked at his injury, they said he was beaten over the head with a blunt object. Unbelievable. And in May of 2020, the family sued for wrongful death by the police department, Louisiana State Police. Yeah, they found cocaine and alcohol in his body. And I always thought about this, guys. If a police officer is involved in a shooting or the death of someone in their custody, why aren't they given a drug analysis? I don't know if they do or they don't, but that would be my first question. Why wouldn't they give it a drug test to see what type of drugs they were on? You understand where I'm coming from, folks? You're quick to bring out the person that you killed, their toxicology report. Why don't we hear about the police officer's toxicology report? Does that make sense? That makes an even playing field. You can't say, I'm taking steroids and you're just as beef as I am on another team. You understand, guys? Like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'm not the dumbest person in the world neither. What are these police officers? You want to know what our mental states are? You hire these guys, what are their mental states? You understand where I'm coming from? I'm just putting it out there, guys. At one point, Mr. Green, you can see on the video, Mr. Green was handcuffed and he was drugged by his ankles by another police officers. He was left in a prone position for more than 9 minutes. That means he was left on his stomach with his hands behind his back for 9 minutes. And he was coughing up blood, and one officer had the nerve to say, I hope this guy ain't got no effing AIDS. Can you understand why? Instead of trying to see why the guy is coughing up blood, they're talking noise about the situation. And then they said you could hear one trooper in his car on a phone call stating, I beat the living F out of him, choked him, and everything, trying to get him under control. And we finally got handcuffs on him. Now this man admitted to choking and beating someone in his custody. And then he called him a SOB, was fighting and was still wrestling, and we held him down and was spitting blood. And all of a sudden he said he just went limp. I mean, he was dead, guys. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. You put in your police report that one thing happened, then you're dumb enough to release. Thank God they released the cameras footage, the body cam footage. They're dumb enough to release the footage showing something totally different than what they told the police. I mean, the doctors in the hospital, and they put it in a police report. How dumb are they? Now, here's the catch. Last year, one of the officers involved, once he found out they were going to be indicted, was killed in a car crash, and he died. The other one was fired, but they still had these guys on the police force after all that, man. Can you believe this, guys? You talk about injustice in America. I just gave you 2 prime cases. One man, both of them died. One died in death row for 24 years, stating he was innocent, and it was just proven 4 years after his death that he was innocent. Then these other cops in Louisiana beat a guy in their custody to death. Wow. I'm not just saying this, guys. You don't believe me. Pull it up and look at it yourself, guys. I'm not gonna come up here and just put things up here that I haven't researched and that I don't know what I'm talking about. If you're watching, guys, please step up and say hello so I can say hello back. I know I have some viewers out there. But that's what the topic is tonight, guys. Injustice in America. And it really is injustice in America if you think about it. Look at what's going on. Just think about it. Just over the weekend, we had 12 mass shootings. Can you believe that? 12 mass shootings. But here in the state of Texas, they're going to pass a law where anybody can carry. And you can get alcohol to go from a restaurant. People already dying at big numbers here in the state of Texas due to alcohol, due to gun violence. Right now in the United States, we done had about 7,500 people die from gun violence so far this year. Unbelievable. I think they said that's up about 200%. Unbelievable, guys. Wow. But we trying to pass these crazy laws where everybody can pack a gun. Can't get the police to keep theirs in their holster when a black male or someone is running. Well, basically a black male is running away from them. We're a threat running away from them. We get shot down. I'm just putting it out there, guys. You see it. Just like I see it. Wow. Like I said, guys, I keep it real on my podcast. Not trying to offend anyone, not trying to seem like I'm a racist or just about my color. I talk about everything. I love everybody. But when you see wrongdoing, it's wrongdoing no matter what color it is. You've been watching Houston Confidential Live, guys. Right here on Facebook. I've been your host, Mark. Just glad to be here and have you guys sitting in. If you're watching, thank you for watching. If it's your first time checking out my podcast, I'd like to say thank you. We'll be right back here Wednesday evening, guys. God willing. But like I said, I bring issues to the forefront on my podcast so we could talk about it, guys. You could have typed in your comment, got a phone line set up. That's why I do things of this nature, so you can get your voice out there. You make your voice heard. But anyway, I'm not going to be before you long. I'm going to get off of here, eat some dinner. We're getting ready for Wednesday night. We're going to have another hot topic. And God bless you and yours. Once again, you've been watching Houston Confidential Live right here on Facebook. I've been your host, Mark. Don't forget, you can go into Google search or any search engine, type in Houston Confidential Live, catch my podcast, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Houston Confidential Live. That's not live stream, but Houston Confidential Live. You type in that in the search engine on Google or any one of those, Chrome, I'll pop up either on Facebook or YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. God bless you. God keep you and yours till we see each other again on Wednesday. Have a blessed evening. What's up, Al? What's going on, Shawana? How are you? Glad to have you guys sitting in. Y'all be blessed.